I don't know what else 2020 is going to have for us, but it's going to be hard to top Monday, January 6th. Commercial-free Listener Appreciation Day is the best day yet so far of the year, right? Exactly. I'm Mike Jones. Jam and Jesse's going to keep us going nonstop until midnight. 5 more hours of music to go without commercials and a couple more chances, including around 7:10 for alternative income. You text in the keyword.
Good evening and welcome to the Newtown Township Board of Supervisors reorganization meeting for 2020. As we normally do, we'll have a moment of silence, but I would just request that in this moment of silence, if you would take into consideration the passing of our past representative, Mike Fitzpatrick, a true gentleman and a public servant, and take into consideration his family. So if you would just bow your heads, a moment of silence. You stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. I will assume there are no changes to the agenda tonight. Is that correct?
That's correct, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. We'll go into our first session of public comment. Anyone who wants to come up to the podium and say anything that at the moment is not on the agenda, please feel free to do so. Okay, seeing none, we will go into our swearing-in ceremony. And we have Judge Petrucci here, and I guess our first person up is Mr. Fisher.
Dennis Fisher,
I, Dennis Fisher,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support, obey, and defend
that I will support, obey, and defend
the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania,
the Constitution of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania,
and as a supervisor
and as a supervisor
of Newtown Township,
of Newtown Township,
I will discharge the duties
I will discharge the duties
of my office with fidelity.
of my office with fidelity.
Congratulations, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Patricia.
Congrats to you as well. I don't. Is he? He's not doing that now. All right. I guess we'll do picture later.
Yeah, we'll do pictures afterwards. Next is Mr. John Mack.
I'll just hold it in the middle. Okay. I, John Mack,
I, John Mack,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support, obey, and defend
that I will support, obey, and defend
the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania,
the Constitution of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania,
and as a supervisor
and as a supervisor
of Newtown Township,
of Newtown Township,
I will discharge the duties
I will discharge the duties
of my office with fidelity.
of my office with fidelity.
Congratulations, sir. Good job. Congrats.
Next would be Mr. Richard Weaver.
Okay, Mr. Weaver, left hand and right hand up. You've done this before. Okay. Ready? I, Richard Weaver,
I, Richard Weaver,
do solemnly
do
swear
solemnly swear
that I will support, obey, and defend
I will support, obey, and defend
the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the Commonwealth of
the
Pennsylvania,
Constitution of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania,
and as an auditor
and as an auditor
of Newtown Township,
of Newtown Township,
I will discharge the duties
I will discharge the duties
of my office with fidelity.
of my office with fidelity.
Congratulations, sir. Good work. I'll trade you.
Okay. Next is Delia Flattery Abramson, Auditor. Hope I pronounced that right. Forgive me if I... Abrahamson, I'm sorry.
All right, so you're in the middle, right? You got this? No. Okay, so left and then right hand up. I, Delia Flaherty Abramson,
I, Delia Flaherty Abrahamson,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support, obey, and defend
that I will support, obey, and defend
the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania,
the Constitution of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania,
and as an auditor
and as an auditor
of Newtown Township,
of Newtown Township,
I will discharge the duties
I will discharge the duties
of my office with fidelity.
of my office with fidelity.
Congratulations. Good job. Okay, I'll trade you. All right. That's it, right?
Okay, why don't we take 5-10 minutes so everybody can get their photo shoots in, and we'll re-adjourn in 7.5 minutes. How do you like that?
Festival announcement today. Bottle Rock Napa, which is an amazing lineup. It's going to be so wild seeing John Frusciante back with the Chili Peppers again. So you got them, Dave Matthews Band, Stevie freaking Nicks. That full lineup's at radio1045.com. Also, Coachella last week, I think that was announced. By the way, Coachella getting its own documentary that is currently trending on Twitter. They need to make a documentary about Bonnaroo way before they do Coachella. That's all I'm saying. All right, what is up, man? It's Dusty with you. Since we're talking about Twitter, get to Twitter now. Our conversation is underway. Our nightly conversation, Radio 1045 Reply All. I ask you a topic each weeknight, and you get to chime in with all your thoughts on it. So, Reply All. Concert regret is real. Are there any bands, shows that you regret not seeing, and why? What band? Where was the show? Anything interesting happen that you missed that was at the show that happened, and you were looking back and you were like, why didn't I get tickets? Please share with me. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, at Radio 1045, at Jam and Jesse. Use the hashtag 1045.
Okay, thank you, everyone. And we'll get back to the agenda. You guys are using the, what was it, 7 minutes? Yeah. Okay, thank you, everybody, and congratulations to all those that were sworn in. Moving right along, have a motion to accept the resignation of Linda Bobrin, supervisor. Do I have such a motion?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in, any questions from the board? From the public? Seeing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes 4-0. With a bittersweet vote,
With
Ms.
reluctance.
Bobrin, you are the Register of Wills now, as of this morning, right? And where there's a will, there's a Bobrin, apparently. There you go. Okay. Moving on to the organization of the Board of Supervisors. A motion for the election of chairman.
If those nominations are open, I'd like to move that Philip Calabro be continued as chairman.
I'll second that.
I have a motion and a second. Any question from the board, from the public? Seeing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes 4-0. Motion for vice chairman.
I'd be very pleased to make a motion to nominate Dennis Fisher as vice chairman.
Okay, and I'll second that motion. Any questions from the board, from the public? Seeing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes 4-0, I'm sorry. Next is a motion for assistant secretary and assistant treasurer.
And I would make a motion to elect John Mack as assistant secretary, assistant treasurer.
And I will second that. Any questions from the board, from the public? Seeing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes 4-0. Okay. We got that out of the way.
I know the feeling.
Next, we'll go on to comments from chairman. And I just have a few brief comments, maybe about 25, 30 minutes worth, but I'll get them over as quickly as possible. You all thought I was serious, right? No. Good evening, everyone. First of all, I'd like to thank my board members for instilling the faith in me to reappoint me as chair. I am truly honored. The year 2019 was a year that brought many accomplishments. It was another year without a tax increase in our budget, the hiring of a new police chief, Chief John Hearn. Under his guidance, a brave police department that is second to none. Also, I'd like to give big shout-outs to our fire department, Public Works, Park and Rec, all of whom make this township better and safe for adult and child. We have the continued road paving program with 5 miles of road to be paved in 2020. With the help of the Finance Committee, we secured a grant for a 5 to 10 year economic study of the township. This study will help us going forward to maintain the financial health of Newtown. The township also was on the winning edge of the fight against opioid manufacturers. The township, with the help of experienced professionals, completed a pollution reduction plan, fulfilling our requirements with PA law and the DEP, and saving money in the process. Along with our jointure partners, Upper Makefield and Wrightstown Townships, an area comprehensive plan will be done and updated to include our progress that has been achieved in the area. We are working on and gaining state funds to continue our township area trail program. There is also talks of a new project with our Newtown Borough neighbors to refurbish the walking bridge across the Newtown Creek. Now, going forward, we will have challenges ahead, which this board has always and will continue to take the township's best interest at heart. This is also a bittersweet start to the year and decade. We are losing another caring supervisor, but in this case, Newtown's loss is the county's gain. Linda Bobrin will be moving on to the Register of Wills. I am sure she will make Newtown proud. We are going to have a process to replace her, and that process will be mentioned later on in the meeting. All this being said, I, and I'm sure the board, looks forward to serving the township as best as possible. With the help of our administration, led by Micah Lewis, and the dedicated volunteers of our township, we are well represented. As members of this township, we are all on the same team, and everyone's help is appreciated. We should always think of ourselves as Newtonians first and foremost. Thank you. I'll go on to comments from board members. I guess start with Mr. Fisher.
Thank you, Phil. And that was an excellent act. It's going to make it hard for me to follow it. So I want to thank Linda and Kyle and Phil and John for supporting me in my first year and a half as supervisor. I look forward to working with all of you to address the issues that are coming up. I want to thank the people of Newtown for putting your confidence in me, and I think John would agree that now we have the difficult task of living up to those expectations. Phil listed a number of accomplishments and even some of the challenges ahead. I had outlined a few of the challenges too, and beginning with the financial challenges of doing an in-depth financial review. We had a matching grant from Department of Community and Economic Development that we will look into the finances and create structures to look at our budgets 3 to 5 years in advance. So I think that's very important. Under development, hopefully we'll oversee in the near future the completion of renovations at Village of Newtown. And I've already started seeing some help wanted signs, and that's a good thing. More people employed in Newtown. I see some challenges around zoning, and of course, we want to resolve the convenience store gas station use for the jointure in the next few months. Phil mentioned the comprehensive plan. That's something that's going to take all year, and we will be looking for public input on that. We will begin making some appointments this evening. As probably predicted, there will probably be some holes that we can't fill. It would be nice in the next month or two if we could get all of our committees and boards filled to capacity. And I think we can do that. And of course, we'll be looking for a replacement for Linda. And we will be challenged just by all the different things that are going on, all the tasks that we've mentioned, addressing challenges that we don't even know what they are yet because they're going to come along the way, and meeting those challenges and meeting the service that that people have come to expect, the class grade A #1 service that our Public Works and Police and Fire Department and Codes Office and Recreation Department present for us. I will do my best to represent all the citizens of Newtown, those who voted for me and those who didn't, because as Phil said, we are one big team for Newtown. And I'll use my best listening skills to find areas of agreement, even when there is disagreement. I try to do at least one act of kindness each day. And one way that I found is just to be someone who listens to other people and let's make sure that they know that their point of view is heard. And after 42 years of providing mental health and drug and alcohol services in Philadelphia, I've learned to have very good listening skills and ways to manage multiple perspectives. The good thing is we don't have to have all the answers. I don't have to have all the answers. You don't have to have all the answers, but together with our community and our professionals, we can make some really pretty good decisions, very good decisions. Let me change that. So I'd like to thank everybody again for helping make a difference in Newtown.
Thank you, Dennis. Mr. Mack?
Thank you, Dennis and Phil. As mentioned or hinted at, the next few years will require much-needed input from well-informed and engaged residents to help plan for the future of Newtown Township. As a supervisor, I will continue to do my best to inform and actively seek input from residents, ask thoughtful questions, be an advocate for better channels of communication with the public, and work with my fellow board members for the good of the township. And I think that says enough. Thank you.
Thank you, John. Mr. Davis?
Sure. Phil, congratulations on being elected chair again. Congratulations, John and Dennis, and again, Linda out there. I can't disagree with anything you said, so I look forward to working with you guys for the next couple of years. So,
Thank you. Okay, we'll get on to those that report directly to the Board of Supervisors to serve the township with compensation for 2020. A motion recognizing Micah Lewis employment agreement as township manager.
I'd make that motion.
I'll second that.
A motion is second. Any questions from the board? From the public? Seeing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any
Aye.
opposed? Passes 4-0. Motion appointing Micah Lewis as township treasurer and secretary.
I'll make a motion for that.
And second.
A motion is second. Any questions from the board? From the public? Seeing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes 4-0. A motion to appoint Sean Kilkenny Law and Jerry Schenkman Esquire as township solicitor. I will make that motion.
And I will second it.
We have a motion and a second. Any questions from the board? From the public? Seeing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor? Aye. Passes 4-0. Motion to appoint Maureen O'Neill as Board of Supervisor Recording Secretary.
Yeah, I'll make that motion.
And I'll second it.
A motion is second. Any questions from the board? From the public? Seeing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Passes 4-0. Thank God she gets to still take the minutes, or else she would have. Okay. Individuals serving with compensation, again. Zoning Hearing Board, I'm just going to announce the people that are going to be the new appointments instead of reading the whole board and dates of expiration. So the new person appointed to the Zoning Hearing Board, a motion for Paul Cohen, and his expiration would be 2024. And I will make the motion for Mr. Cohen.
I'll second that.
I have a motion and a second. Any questions from the board? From the public? Seeing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Passes 4-0. Reporting to the Township Manager to serve with compensation for 2020. Traffic Engineers. Motion to appoint Remington and Vernick Engineers, Inc. as traffic engineers with appropriate authority to attend board, commission, and committee meetings.
I'd gladly make that motion.
And I will second that. A motion is second. Any questions from the board? Public? Hearing none. Call the question. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes 4-0. Civil Engineer. Motion to appoint Remington and Vernick as Township Civil Engineer and General and Environmental Engineer and Lighting Consultant with appropriate authority to attend board, commission, and committee meetings.
I'll make that motion.
And I will second it. Have a motion and a second. Questions from the board, from the public? Seeing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes 4-0. Graphic Information Systems Engineers, GIS. Motion to appoint T&M Associates as Township Engineers for the GIS services.
I don't know what that is, but I'll make that motion.
Okay.
And I'll make that second.
Make that second. Mr. Manager, could you explain what the GIS is to the public?
GIS is a database, a computerized database that, when you look at the zoning map, that's GIS generates that map. When you look at the highway classification maps, all those are generated by GIS layers. And we have a consultant that helps us with our database so that when we have people that, are requesting information 500 feet from a property, that's how we pull all that information and addresses from.
Thank you.
So it's a location service.
Is everyone okay with that explanation and with their motions?
Yes.
Okay. So motion is second. Any questions from the board? Well, that was a question from the board, but any more questions from the board? From the public? Seeing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes 4-0. Labor solicitors, motion to appoint the law firm of Curtin and Hefner LLP as township labor attorneys.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second that.
Motion is second. Any questions from the board? The public? Seeing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes 4-0. Building inspectors, motion to appoint Remington and Vernick Engineers, Inc. as township building inspectors.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
The motion is second. Any questions from the board? The public? Seeing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Passes 4-0. Pension actuary, motion to appoint Mock and Hop Associates as township actuaries. And I will make that motion.
I will second it as long as I don't have to say the name again.
Okay.
Mock and Hop.
Mock and Hop. That was pretty good. There you go. I have a motion and a second. Any question from the board? The public? Seeing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Passes 4-0. Pension investment advisors, motion to appoint the firm of DeHob Associates as township pension investment advisors.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second that.
Motion second. Any questions from the board? The public? Seeing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes 4-0. Insurance brokers or carriers. And this is the longest
This
one.
is
Jeez.
the longest one.
Motion to affirm H.A. Thompson, The Hartford, Standard Insurance, Delaware Valley Workers' Compensation Trust, Delaware Valley Insurance Trust, Delaware Valley Health Insurance Trust, and ADP Services as brokers and carriers of the township insurance and employee benefits. I will make that motion.
I will second that.
The motion is second. Any questions from the board? The public? Seeing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor? Any opposed? Passes 4-0. Township planners, motion to appoint CKS engineers as township planners.
I will make that motion.
I will second that. I have a motion is second. Any questions from the board? Public? Seeing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes 4-0. Official depositories. Motion to designate First National Bank, TD Bank, Invest of Pennsylvania, Pennsylvania Local Government Investment Trust, First Priority Bank, and Univest Bank Corporation as township depositories.
I'll make that motion.
So, and seconded.
Motion is second. Any questions from the board? The public? Seeing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor? Any opposed? Passes 4-0. Earned Income Tax, Local Services Tax Collector, and Tax Hearing Office. Motion to appoint Keystone Collection Group as EIT, LST Distribution Tax Collectors, and Tax Hearing Officer.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
Second.
I was getting Kyle some throat lozenges.
I have a motion and a second. Any questions from the board? From the public? Seeing no, yes.
Do you actually have a choice in that, or is that made by the county?
Yes, sir.
All I was asking,
But your mic's not on.
Warren Kaiser. All I was asking is, do you actually have a choice in choosing Keystone or, was it?
Bailey.
No, that's, Keystone as our.
Keystone is one. I mean, is that decided at the county level that all the townships will have the same?
Yeah, I believe that was
So
decided.
I just
a
was
few
questioning
years
the whole
ago.
idea of appointing because I don't think there's any choices.
Yeah, and I don't know if we know of any other company out there that is interested in doing so.
No, it is appointed
There
at
are
the,
two, and they used to compete, and now when they get the county, they get the whole county.
Yeah.
right. They get, the county appoints them, but
Okay.
we're affirming that appointment.
That's my only question.
Okay. Any further questions from the board? Seeing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Passes 4-0. Auditor, motion to appoint the firm of Malley LLP as independent auditor to audit the accounts of Newtown Township for the fiscal year of 2019. I will make that motion.
And I will second it.
Motion is second. Any questions from the board? From the public? Seeing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Passes 4-0. Video production. Motion to appoint Video Gold for 2020.
So moved.
Second.
Motion is second. Any questions from the board? The public? Seeing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes 4-0. Emergency Management Coordinator. Motion to appoint Glenn Forsythe as Emergency Management Coordinator.
So moved.
And I'll second that. Have motion is second. Any questions from the board? Public? Seeing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes 4-0. Fire Code Official. Motion to appoint Glenn Forsythe as Fire Code Official.
So moved.
I'll second that.
Motion is second. Any questions from the board? Public? Seeing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Passes 4-0. On to boards and commissions, individuals serving without compensation. Neshaminy and Little Neshaminy Creek and Delaware River South Plan Advisory Committee. A motion to appoint Micah Lewis as the township representative, of which I will make that motion.
And I will second it.
The motion is second. Any questions from the board?
Yeah, I know that Mr. Lewis has a background in the environment and planning, and do we know much about this advisory committee?
Well, typically, the advisory committees are only put into motion when one of those plans is being redone. It's a DEP requirement that they are redone. I believe it's every 10 years, just like a comp plan. So it's a periodic revision to the Delaware River or Neshaminy Creek watershed plans. It's done, it's led by the county, Bucks County Planning Commission.
I'll have to learn more about that. Thank you.
Good. Any questions from the public? Seeing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes 4-0. Vacancy Board, which is appointed yearly. A motion to appoint Peg Dissinger, which ends on December 31st, 2020, of which I will make that motion.
And I will second it.
Motion is second. Any questions from the board? From the public? Seeing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes 4-0. Planning Commission, 4-year terms. There were 2 appointments. Motion to appoint Peggy Driscoll and Amber Ray, both terms ending 2023. I'll second
And I'll
that.
second, yeah.
Motion is second. Any questions from the board? From the public? Seeing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Passes 4-0. Park and Rec Board. We have, well, actually, we have 1, 2, 3, 4. There should be 5 appointments. We only have 4 at the moment. Florence Geller, she will be serving till the end of this year, 2020. Patty Conroy, 2021. Dennis D'Arcy, 2022. Catherine Ann Porter, 2022. And we currently have a vacant position, which will also end in 2022. So I have a motion for those appointments, and I will make that motion.
And I will second it.
The motion is second. Any questions from the board? From the public? Seeing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Passes 4-0. The Newtown Area Joint Historic Commission, a 4-year term. There was 1 term open, and appointment of Anne Marie Kaminsky, which would end in 2023.
So moved.
And seconded.
A motion is second. Any questions from the board? From the public? Seeing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Passes 4-0. The Historic Architectural Review Board, HARB. We do have a vacancy there, but we also would like to appoint Peggy Driscoll as the Planning Commission Liaison, which is also a voting member on the HARB Board.
Motion approved.
I will second that. The motion is second. Any questions from the board, from the public? Seeing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Passes 4-0. The Newtown Joint Sewer Authority Board, which is a 5-year term. We have one opening and a motion. I will actually make the motion to appoint Linda Bobrin, which will extend to 2024. Do I have a second?
I can second that.
That motion is second. Any questions from the board?
I do have a question. Was there a problem with the current appointee, why we didn't reappoint Mike Gallagher? I thought his grasp of the issues in the sewer authority was pretty good.
Well, yeah, well, Ms. Bobrin has been the liaison going to all the meetings, and I think that she is very up on what's happening, and just felt that maybe it was time for a change of appointment. So the board saw fit that Ms. Bobrin should be the appointee.
Okay, thank you.
Motion and second. Any questions from the public? Call the question. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed?
No.
Passes 3-1. Environmental Advisory Council, motion to appoint Amy Easterly, 2022, and Joan Farb, 2022.
I'll make that motion.
Have a motion, do I have a second?
I'll second that.
The motion is second. Any questions from the board? From the public? Seeing none, I will call the question. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Passes 4-0. We have the Technology Committee, of which it's been mentioned maybe we should include that they are also a Communications Committee, but to change an official name, we need first a motion to change the name of the Technology Committee to the Technology and Communication Committee. Do I have such a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any questions from the board? From the public? Seeing none, again, then this is on the change of name. Call the question. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay. Now, I will just name, on this committee, I will name and affirm the reappointments that are there. We have a Jack Melvin, 2020, Tim Claus, 2020, Angela Poston, also 2020, and Prashim Rashish, 2021. Now, we also have 3 vacancies on that board, so if anyone is interested in technology and communication, please submit your resume or letter of intent to Olivia at the township. We don't need any other motion for that one there. Building Code Board of Appeals, one appointment of Bradley Longoski, 2022.
I'll make that motion.
And I will second it.
Motion is second. Any questions from the board? From the public? Seeing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes 4-0. Tax Collection Management Committee. Motion to appoint John Mack as Tax Collection Committee Delegate and Micah Lewis as alternate. I will make that motion. Do I have a second?
I will second.
Motion is second. Any questions from the board? From the public? Seeing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Passes 4-0. Finance Committee, which is a one-year term. Motion to appoint Mark Boda, 2020, Jack Brode, 2020, Stu Kaplan, 2020, Peg Dissinger, 2020, David Oxley, 2020, George Scavani, 2020, and Richard Weaver, 2020. Do I have a motion?
I'll make that motion.
I will second it. Have a motion and a second. Any questions from the board? From the public? Hearing, seeing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Passes 4-0. Veterans Committee, motion to appoint John DiApril, Ed Valente, Ethel Hibbs, all of which will expire in 2020. And we have 4 vacancies, of which, if anyone is interested in the Veterans Committee, please also submit your letter of intent to Olivia at the township. I need a motion.
I will make that motion. I will second.
A motion is second. Any questions from the board? From the public? Seeing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes 4-0. Human Relations Commissions. Motion to appoint Mercy Ingraham, 2020, Angelic Acevedo, 2021, Ivan Weingar, 2021, Amir Nahim, 2022, and we also have a vacancy on this board which would extend to 2022. Do I have a motion?
I'd like to make that motion.
I'll second it.
I have a motion and a second. Any questions from the board? The public? Seeing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes 4-0. On to ordinances and resolutions. Set bond amounts for township officials. Resolution 2020 R-1 to set bond amounts for township officials for 2020. Treasurer Micah Lewis at a $3 million bond. I will make that motion.
I'll second that.
I have a motion and a second. Any questions from the board? From the public? Seeing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes 4-0. Resolution adopting Act 153 exemptions. Resolution 2020 R-2, certifying properties that are qualified for tax increase exemptions under PA Act 153. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
I'll second.
I have a motion second. Any questions from the board? Public? Seeing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Passes 4-0. Resolution reaffirming the administration condition for procedure. Resolution 2020 R-3, reaffirming Resolution 2007 R-10, establishing an administrative conditional use procedure. I will make that motion.
And we'll second it.
Okay. Question if Mr. Lewis could just elaborate on that one.
Yeah, the conditional use procedure is for applicants that are coming in with similar uses that don't increase the size or operation capacity of a business. That would typically require board approval for conditional uses. There's a set of standards that we go by to exempt them from that formal process.
So this is just basically like a streamline?
Yes,
Okay.
correct.
Okay, motion and a second. Any questions from the public? Seeing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Passes 4-0. Reaffirm Resolution 2011 R-7, establishing Township's pension plan. Motion to reaffirm 2011 R-7, establishing the pension plan investment policy.
I'll make that motion.
I will second that. Any questions from the board? From the public? Seeing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Passes 4-0. Resolution 2020 R-4, adoption of fee schedule. Motion to adopt Resolution 2020-4, adopting the 2020 fee schedule.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and second. Any questions from the board? Public? Seeing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes 4-0. The 2020 Board of Supervisor meeting dates. I will make that motion.
And I will second it.
Motion and second. Any questions from the board? From the public? Seeing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Passes 4-0. Motion authorizing chairman, after polling the board, to have the chairman sign and the manager attest to proclamations honoring citizens and others for worthy deeds and activities.
So moved.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
A motion is second. Any questions from the board? Is Kyle okay? All right. From the public? Seeing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? We'll just put that 3-0. Okay. All right. Tax ordinances and resolutions. Motion to continue the 2019 tax ordinances and resolutions in force pursuant to Section 4 of the Local Tax Enabling Act for 2020. Motion. No second.
Second.
Motion is second. Any questions from the board? From the public? Seeing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Passes 3-0. Okay. IRS mileage reimbursement for 2020. Motion to approve the 2020 IRS mileage reimbursement of 57.5 cents per mile or business miles driven. I will make that motion.
I'll second it.
Motion is second. Any questions from the board?
This doesn't apply to supervisors driving back and forth to these meetings, does it?
No. Well, because that's our destination anyway.
All right.
If you want to go to another meeting somewhere, then maybe that'll come in. Any questions from the public? Seeing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Passes 3-0. Standing non-statutory committees authorized by the Administrative Code. Pension Committee, appointed yearly. Motion to appoint Micah Lewis and to affirm the appointments of Joseph Martindale, CWA firefighter representative, Frank Ambrose, PBA representative, and John Elman, CWA non-uniform employee representative for 2020. That motion?
I'll make that motion.
Second?
Second.
Motion is second. Any questions from the board? The public? Seeing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Passes 3-0. Occupational Safety Committee, which is appointed yearly. Motion to appoint Micah Lewis, Clem Forsythe, and to appoint PBA appointment of Chris Bush, and the CWA appointments of Joseph Martindale and Michael Jones for 2020. I will make that motion.
I will second it.
And motion is second. Any questions from the board? Public? Seeing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Passes 3-0.
Give Kyle a second.
Okay, we're on to liaison and coordination assignments. Bucks County Association of Public Officials, John Mack. Bucks County Community College, Phil Calabro. Community Services Organizations, Kyle Davis. Council Rock School Board, John Mack. Council Rock Senior Center, Dennis Fisher. Homeowners Association, we usually have two people. Kyle, you weren't at the meeting. I don't know if you would like to be the other person? Yes. Okay, so this will be John Mack and Kyle Davis. Historic Architectural Review Board, Dennis Fisher. Joint Zoning Council, all supervisors can attend those meetings. Newtown American Legion Ambulance Squad, Kyle Davis. Newtown Borough Council, Philip Calabro. Newtown Fire Association, John Mack and Dennis Fisher. Newtown Joint Historic Commission, Kyle Davis. Joint Municipal Sewer Authority, Dennis Fisher. Park and Recs, Kyle Davis. Planning Commission, Philip Calabro and John Mack. County Tax Board, Dennis Fisher. Environmental Advisory Council, John Mack. Technology and Communication, I think we had two people, was it John and Kyle? Kyle, would you like to also be on this one? or-
No, I'm good. I haven't been able
Okay.
to make it to the meetings.
Okay.
So, with my work schedule.
So I'll have John Mack on the Now Technology and Communication Committee. Finance Committee, Dennis Fisher. Kyle, put you down for Veterans Committee, is that okay?
Yeah, that's great, thanks.
Okay. And those are the liaison and coordination assignments. If anyone needs to change, it's just a matter of asking, and we could make some rearrangements.
And when the new person comes onto the board, we
When a
might,
new person comes onto the board,
You might
maybe
wanna
there's
pick one or
some
two.
shifting that we could do on the liaison positions. Okay. That looks like that is our appointments. And right now, we're on to our second session of public comment. If anyone would like to come up and make a public comment on this meeting, please come up and do so. Okay, seeing none. Miscellaneous items. Does anybody have any miscellaneous items they would like to discuss at the moment?
other than the procedure for filling,
We'll go over that.
Yep.
Sure. As Dennis mentioned, there is a procedure, and the procedure will be for accepting resumes and/or letters of intent for the supervisor vacancy that has just happened with Ms. Bobram moving on to the Register of Wills position. What we will be doing is accepting resumes and letters of intent up until January 15th. So if you do have interest, please forward those to Olivia at the township. And I think, is Olivia's email address on the television?
It's on the website. We'll be posting the ad tomorrow
Okay.
on our website.
Great. Once we get those resumes or letters of intent in, we will then try to decide what dates there will be, because there'll be a formal interviewing process of which the applicants will come in and interview with the supervisors. And then from that, we hope to make this appointment at the end of this month, because we are under time constraints as far as the legality to appoint a new supervisor. So we may have to have a special meeting on January 29th to make this particular appointment. So that's right now the procedure. We don't know the dates of the interviews until we get in the resumes to see how many there are, so we could divvy up the time accordingly, hopefully 1 or 2 days of which we can complete these interviews. Any questions from anyone on that procedure? Okay. The only other thing I'd like to mention is that we did have an executive session this past Friday, the 3rd, to discuss personnel issues. And yes,
if I may, just to clarify that there are some, as we went through the committee assignments, there are a couple of committees that have a couple of open seats.
yes.
So we'll accept resumes for that as well, or letters of interest.
Yeah, at this point, to fill these vacancies, well, if anyone is interested, just looking at our sheets here, we have one in Park and Recs,
Yep.
one on the Historical Architectural Review Board,
3
1, 2, 3 on the Technology and Communication Committee, 1, 2, 3, 4 on the Veterans Committee,
Yep.
1 on Human Relations Commission,
I think that's it.
and I think that would be it. So if anyone is interested in any particular committee or just wanting to serve on any committee, please send in your requests, and we will make those appointments as time goes on. So we're looking forward to filling up every committee so that they're all functional and can report back to the Board of Supervisors with what they're doing. Seeing that, there is no need for an executive session tonight, so all I need is a motion of adjournment.
So moved.
A second.
Second.
Thank you, everybody. Have a great night.
Thank you.
Radio 104.5.
Philadelphia's alternative rock.